Buckle up for a thrilling journey through the captivating history of poker.
8-8! And Mike wins!
Congratulations! The 8 is your lucky card!
As we delve into the origins of this beloved game, we'll uncover tales from ancient times to the modern era, where technology has shaped the poker landscape like never before. Let's start our adventure in the annals of history, where the game of poker was thought to have ancient Persian roots. An enchanting game called Asnaz once graced the palaces, capturing hearts with its poker-like charm. Picture 4 players, each dealt 5 cards, vying for victory without flushes or sequences, making it a unique predecessor to the poker we know today. In 1895, for example, General Albert Hautem Schindler had the following to say about the game of Asnaz. The game of As is exactly like poker, but without any flushes or sequences. There are 4 players, and each player gets 5 cards. Dealt to the right, the dealer puts down a stake. The first player then looks at his cards. If he goes, he says D-Dam, which means I have seen, and covers the stake or raises it. If he does not wish to play, he says Nadi-Dam, which means I have not seen, and throws his cards. He may also go without looking at his cards. That is, in poker parlance, straddle and says Nadi-D-Dam, which means without looking. I have seen. The second player, if he wishes to play, must cover the stakes, and can also raise. The third player and the dealer then act in the same way as in poker. And when the stakes of all players are equal and no one raises any more, the cards are turned up, and the player holding the best hand wins the stakes. But hold your horses, because poker's history doesn't end there. Travel back to China in the late 900s, where the emperor and his concubines delighted in a game using tiles and leaf cards that found their way into the mix. Known as the leaf game, it danced through the lands of China, sowing the seeds of poker's enchanting journey. Fast forward to the 16th century in Persia, where Gonjifa, the treasure cards, stole the spotlight. A distant cousin of poker, this game charmed the hearts of the Persian people, spreading its influence to India, where Gonjifa took center stage. With round decks made of palm leaves or wood, and even grand sets, crafted from ivory or turtle shells, this game was nothing short of a treasure trove of delights. Now, let's embark on the voyage across the seas as poker takes root in Europe. From the French game of poke and the British brag to the Italian primera, a symphony of games converged to shape the future of poker. The 1800s witnessed poker's evolution into a hybrid of brag and poke, played with a 20-card deck, setting the stage for what was to come. In Italy, card enthusiasts referred to the popular 3-card game as primera. Italian decks contained 40 cards with suits consisting of coins, cups, swords, and clubs, depending on what part of the country they lived. Italians also played regional games, like Briscola and Scopa. Germans perfected a bluffing game known as Parken. That was the first known game in which deception was rewarded, and bluffing was essentially became the point of the game. In Ireland, the locals played poker, an offshoot of Parken. The English also adapted Parken but changed the name to brag. When the British colonized the Americas, they brought brag along with them. Brag's bluffing elements were mixed with poke's rules, which is how poker was spawned. And here we are, in the bustling port city of New Orleans, where poker found its true home in the United States. Imported from French sailors and traders, here, the game flourished, embraced by steamboat gamblers and soldiers during the American Civil War. Surviving soldiers spread the game throughout the nation, planting the seeds of poker's popularity in the Midwest and Northeast. Poker began as a regional game in saloons in New Orleans and the Louisiana Territory before it became a part of the United States of America. The city was originally a French colony, but came under Spanish rule in the late 1700s before returning to French control under Napoleon in 1801. In 1803, US President Thomas Jefferson purchased the port of New Orleans and a swath of land from France because Napoleon needed cash to finance his various wars in Europe. New Orleans was a major port located on the banks of Mississippi River, the largest waterway in North America, and also 100 or so miles from the mouth of the Mississippi, where it meets the Gulf of Mexico and offers access to the Caribbean and Atlantic Ocean. Traders and merchants traveled up and down the Mississippi and introduced poker to ports and towns along the river. The mid-1800s birthed the rise of the steamboat gambler. In the mid-1800s, a deck of playing cards expanded from 20 to 52 cards. 5-card poker evolved into a drawing game. An additional round of betting was added to sweeten the pots. The hand rankings included a flush, 5 cards of the same suit for the first time. In the 1860s, the straight, 5 sequential cards was also added to hand rankings. During the American Civil War, rebel and federal soldiers played poker during large downtime. At the war's end, surviving soldiers took the game home with them. Poker was spread throughout the United States and its heavily populated Midwest and Northeast areas for the first time. Poker became synonymous with expanding the Western frontier in the late 1800s. Poker was integral to the lore associated with the Wild West. Pharaoh, a French game that is an ancestor to baccarat, was popular in gambling halls and saloons in different mining towns that peppered the American West. Poker was gaining in popularity, but the game attracted criminals, hustlers, card shops, and other players of ill repute. It was difficult to find a legitimate poker game due to the lawlessness of the West. To keep games semi-harnessed, players were armed with knives and firearms. Those gamblers did not hesitate to resort to violence if they felt they were cheated. As a result, poker games were associated with violence. It was an unfortunate symbiotic reputation, and it took another century before poker could be legitimized and distance itself from cheating and violence. With each passing decade, poker's allure grew, captivating the Wild West and becoming an integral part of the American frontier. Stud poker, 5 cards emerged, and variations such as Texas Hold'em found their place in the hearts of card enthusiasts. For the last 100 years, poker has not changed. Decks and rules have become standardized. The popularity of the individual games has changed over the years, but in the end, everyone is still trying to achieve the same goal: make the best possible 5-card poker hand. And if you don't have one, then try to bluff your way to winning the pot. But the tale of poker doesn't end there, my friends. The advent of computers in the 1990s brought about a revolution in poker. Online poker sites like Planet Poker opened the virtual floodgates, taking the game to millions of players around the globe. The poker boom had arrived, and with it came a surge of interest and a new wave of players ready to test their skills. Yet, even in the face of technological advancements, poker faced legal barriers tested its resilience. The battle for online poker's legitimacy raged, with laws and regulations shaping its accessibility worldwide. But fear not, for poker continues to endure, bridging the gap between tradition and innovation, binding players together across continents. One thing remains clear as we reflect on poker's past and present. The game's allure is as strong as ever. So whether you're a seasoned pro or a novice at the tables, remember that poker's journey is far from over. It will continue to captivate hearts and minds, drawing us into the enthralling world of bluffs, bets, and a quest for the best hand. And there you have it, a mesmerizing tale of poker's rich history, brought to life with tales of ancient Persia, the Wild West, and the technological leaps that shape the game we know and love today. If you've enjoyed this tale of poker's journey, remember to like, subscribe, and share with fellow poker enthusiasts. Until next time, may your cards be lucky and your bluffs bold. Happy poker playing, my friends.